Welcome to the Divine Feminine Podcast with myself, Krystal Aranyani. This is a space for spiritual seekers, sacred rebels, and embodied leaders of the new earth. Here, ancient wisdom meets modern life through raw conversations, timeless philosophy, and living devotion. This is an activation and a remembrance of your true nature. Welcome home. Hello, love, and welcome back. What better way to start this new podcast than to have a quick episode on how to embody the divine feminine, the goddess Shakti in your everyday life. And this isn't just for women, this is for men as well. When we talk about the goddess and the divine feminine, this is the divine feminine within us all. We have the divine feminine and we have the sacred masculine. We have Shiva and Shakti. This entire existence is a manifestation of the two. So when we talk about the divine feminine, don't feel like it's only the female or the feminine, because I know I have some male listeners. This world is Shakti. This world is the goddess. It is the divine mother, the earth, the elements. These embodiments that we are in is a manifestation of her. You have always been sacred. You have always been divine. And this is the path of Tantra, which is why I fell so deeply in love with it, because I also was able to fall deeply in love with myself. Tantra to me is an invitation to be human, an invitation to celebrate your humanness, to accept and celebrate all parts of yourself, even the parts that we have been taught is sinful or wrong or dark. And interestingly enough, when we accept and love those parts is when we release the parts that hurt us, that cause suffering to ourselves or to others. When we release the shame and the guilt around it and we fully accept that this is part of who we are, it's like pushing this beach ball under the water, and all this suppression is just building up within us and projecting on people around us and situations, and then finally it explodes, usually through anger or rage or an emotional state that we're unable to control. We cannot deny half of who we are or major parts of ourselves forever. We cannot suppress parts of ourselves forever. They will leak out and project onto situations, people, and environments that we are in. When we accept what is when it no longer has control over us. When we accept ourselves, that's when those parts of ourselves no longer have control over us. So with that being said, here are my top 5 ways to embody the goddess in your daily life. Number 1 is slowing down. And I had to just practice this as I'm recording this podcast because my sweet little Chiweenie dog, Priya, just drank water, and she tends to do this whenever I'm recording, and I never notice it except for, of course, when I'm recording, and it's just so loud in these moments. And I'm sitting there like, okay, is she done yet? And then she's walking, and then I realize how much her nails make sound on the ground, and I just had a moment where I just paused. I'm like, I'm not in a rush to record this. Allow her to have her sacred water, allow her to take her time doing whatever she's doing. I'm not going to rush her, and I'm just being present, and I'm loving her. And that feels a lot better than being upset, like, oh my God, hurry up, Priya, come here, and like moving her or whatever it would be if I was in this impatient energy. We are programmed to rush through life. Really stop and smell the roses. Slow down when you're doing the dishes. This applies to really everything. How present can I be with this dish? What has this dish done for me? How many times have I eaten off of it? Have I fed my family and friends with this dish? I love this dish. What a beautiful invention. I don't know how to make a dish myself. Thank you to whoever made this. Osho said that whatever we do with full awareness is meditation. Therefore, our lives become this beautiful meditation, this pleasurable ritual when we're fully present. And we do that by slowing down, opening the senses. If you're walking through the forest, if you're walking through your day, stop for a moment and tune into all of the senses. What am I smelling right now? What am I hearing right now? What sounds are in front of me? What sounds are in the distance? What are my favorite sounds? What are my favorite smells that I'm experiencing right now? How deeply can I experience this moment? That is one of my favorite questions to ask myself. How deeply and profoundly can I experience this moment now? We have endless pleasure in any moment if we choose to open to it. And again, that's done by slowing down. We're rushing through our days a lot. We're in that vata energy. We have things to do. We're driving here, driving there. And what happens is when we actually slow down, this happens through meditation too, it expands our day. It expands our awareness. Because when we're thinking so much and we're in that intense energy, we're actually often missing a lot of things. We're not living efficiently. When we're more present, we're living more efficiently, and we're also more in pleasure. And then it's like time expands when that happens. When we open, that's also when we become a magnet to opportunities, situations that are in alignment with us, and then life becomes easier. Not by doing a million things every day. And that's not to say to not get things done, but it's to come into a balance and find even 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. Put a reminder in your phone to slow down. This is also tuning into the divine. I have a reminder on my phone each morning right now to spend 5 minutes before I get out of bed basking in the miracle of existence, to just sit in awe for 5 minutes. Wow, I just woke up. Sleep to me is like a little mini death. So when I wake up, it's like, yay, I'm here again. Wow, it's this amazing television show adventure called life. What am I going to do today? And how crazy is it that I'm here? How crazy is existence? Literally just spending 5 minutes in awe. Wow, how fucking weird is this all? Spending some time in that, and it will change the frequency of your whole day, I promise you. Number 2 is performing odor puja. Puja means worship. So you can do this by having a statue of your deity of choice or the energy that you desire to bring into your life, whatever your path may be. Something that has sacred significance to you, spiritual significance on an altar. Spending time in surrender and devotion. On my last episode, I shared that when I was sitting in front of Shiva recently, I was just saying it was coming through me, show me the path and I will take it. So sometimes we feel like we have to control and that we can control, which we can't really. We're co-creating this reality with the divine. So we feel like we are in control, and then when we find out we're not, it brings us suffering. So in this way, we are releasing control. We're showing up and we have free will, and we can get that to-do list done, and we can, to a degree, decide where our path is leading. But then there's a part of it, this magical part, that is the unknown. That is the divine. And when we surrender and we trust, then there's not so much suffering when things don't turn out exactly how we desire. So being empowered, I control my reality and my destiny, and I also leave this room for magic, and I bow to the divine. Thank you for bringing me into this existence, into this wild world. Thank you for the unknown, the mystery of this life. Thank you for the deliciousness of this life. Thank you even for the obstacles. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bring me where I need to go. Bring me who I need to speak to. I bow to you and leave some of this up to you as well. And your puja or your daily devotion can be bringing flowers to your altar. It can also be nature. Nature can be your embodiment of the divine. Bringing crystals to your plants and bowing to nature, bowing to this existence, whatever your form of the divine is. And then thirdly is inner puja, practicing seeing yourself as the divine embodied because you are. When you feed yourself, imagine you are feeding this inner goddess or god. You are giving the offerings as you do on your altar to this goddess and god. How do you feed yourself when you are making offerings to the divine through this food? What type of food are you offering to your inner god and goddess? Are you praying before? Are you blessing the food before it goes in, before this beautiful offering? When you bathe yourself, you're bathing the temple of the divine, as you would sweep and wash an actual temple, slowing down, opening the senses, smelling whatever you are using to bathe yourself with, and even using mantras and affirmations. I am divine. My hands are holy. My hands do so much for me. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Goddess. Thank you, God. My arms, my strong arms that have done so much. Hugging yourself. Do it. And even if it feels silly to start, just do it until it becomes natural and it feels so good, and then you're having an orgasmic experience in the shower. But really coming into this inner knowing and realization that you are the divine embodied. All of you, all parts of you. How do you treat yourself when you are in that knowing throughout your day? So outer puja and inner puja every day. Number 4 is connecting to nature and honoring nature as Shakti, as the divine. Spending a little bit of time in nature every day, however that looks for you. Being in awe of the rain and the storm and the weather that perhaps you're programmed to not like. Maybe really windy days, and just standing in it in awe and allowing it to cleanse you. Remembering that these elements of nature being expressed all around you is also the same elements that you are created from. Feeling into that oneness, allowing it to open your heart, your being to nature. So connect with nature for even 5-10 minutes every day at least. Feeling Shakti in all and honoring the different expressions of Shakti, the different cycles, the different seasons, and as you do, honoring your own seasons. Also slowing down during the seasons of your life. Maybe there's a season you want to rush through because it's painful, but there's medicine in that pain. So learning to really sit with different seasons and chapters and experiences of our lives, even when it's hard. Obviously not getting stuck there. Like nature, like Shakti, we are always moving, but don't rush past and bypass. Really open to the medicine that is there for you in every moment, because there is beauty and medicine in all experiences of this existence. And we come back to this truth when we sit in nature a little bit every day. And you will feel Lakshmi there when you do. Finally, number 5 is my favorite way, perhaps. I don't know, I love all of these, but it is to be in your creative flow, your creative energy a little bit every day. This is what keeps us alive and turned on for life, doing things that we love. We are creative beings. We are creators and creatrixes. We become dull and disconnected when we are not in our creative energy. So if you've been out of it, ask yourself, what way of being in my creative flow or creative energy and expression right now excites me? Maybe it's trying something totally new. For me, it's creating this podcast. It's also dancing. For me, is really playing in that energy. Before I dance and move my body, I usually do before I create as well, before I make a podcast, before I make a video for my membership. Before I create in these ways, I also am in the flow of dancing, because that connects me to Shakti, and then I create from here. And before I begin movement, I hold my heart and my womb. I call Shakti in and I ask her to move me. How do you desire to move through me? How do you desire to express yourself through me? For many YouTube videos and podcast episodes, I don't plan them. I just sit down, and before I will chant a mantra, I will tune in and I will ask the divine, what do you want to say through me right now? And sometimes it takes me somewhere totally different that I wasn't even expecting. But we're becoming empty vessels for the divine. Our bodies are sacred temples. The divine is moving through us. When we get out of our ego, our busy mind, and we just allow the divine to take over, is when we go in that pleasurable flow state. So if you don't even know how you like to create right now, you can just tune into your inner goddess, your inner wisdom, and ask, how do you desire to move through me? How do you desire to create through me? And just listen and see what comes up for you. Okay, my loves, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, let me know below so I can keep creating content like this. I'd love to know that you love it. You can also give it a 5-star review if you really love it, and share any reviews, any comments. I check them all, and I will see you in the next episode. Beloved, thank you for listening. If this resonated with your soul, remember to follow and subscribe so you don't miss future episodes, and share this with someone you feel would be empowered by this transmission. To dive deeper into my world, explore my membership, The Divine Feminine, and check out all of my current offerings at thekrystalaranyani.com. I would love to hear your thoughts, reflections, or questions, so please comment on this episode, and if you loved it, leave a review. It shows me that you're enjoying it and helps me continue creating content like this for you. Remember, you are not alone in this. We rise higher together. You are powerful, worthy, and holy. You are the temple. Until next time, Sat Nam.